Guess we're on a losing streak, but we're in good company. I feel better when you speak, 'cause you know the words to comfort me. Our car won't start, our weekend plans fall apart. Dagger to the heart, just when it gets hard. You are a monster, really are, climbing up the dark. Guess we're on a losing streak, but we're in good company. I feel better when you speak, 'cause you know the words to call.
Okay, so on my Instagram, I did a question box and I said that y'all could ask me any questions and I would answer some of them on here. So let's dive into it. So someone said, why do you enjoy running? I was talking about this the other day with some girls when I was at an event, and I've been trying to like really dive into like figuring out why I like running so much. I think I finally have it nailed down. It is the only time in my day that no one needs me. It's the only time that I can turn off my brain and really just like not think about everything else that's going on, because all of my focus has to be in having the right technique while running, breathing. My brain has to be so focused in on running that it can't think about the other things. And so I think that's why I like it so much, because it's like a nice relief from like all the noise and craziness. So someone said, what does my husband do for a living? So a little backstory, if you are newer here, my father is a football coach. He was the football coach for the Titans, Nashville. I was living in LA at the time, and my parents were like, move to Nashville. And so I did. My dad's first year with the Titans, he drafted my husband as their quarterback. And funny enough, when he drafted him, I was furious. I was like, this kid is like a party boy, like we don't want him, blah, blah, blah. My dad and I are very close, and I wasn't pretty vocal about his work and what I think he should do and all that kind of stuff. I was like not about Zach when my dad first drafted him. I always say that he wore me down, but I say that like lovingly and jokingly. So occasionally we would see each other out. We never really talk that much, but like we became like friendlier. We still laugh to this day because he would call me. I've never been like a huge partier, and I would like, let's say I'd be out at the bars, I would be home at a reasonable hour, but he would call me all hours of the night. He would FaceTime me at like 2 a.m. and be like, come over, just trying his hardest. But so we stayed friends for 4 years, and eventually it was just kind of like right time, right place. But so my husband played in the NFL. Long story short, my husband played in the NFL for 5 years, four years? I don't really know actually. Then got into coaching. Someone said, what kind of Bronco do I have? A 1971 Ford Bronco. It is my life. Fun fact, when I lived in LA, I was in college at like a very janky and small music school there. That's where I met my best friend Thomas. If you follow me on Instagram, y'all know Thomas. Speaking of which, I get to see him next week and I'm so excited. You know when you just like need your best friend? That's like how I've been feeling for the last few weeks. I'm literally gonna cry thinking about it. So Thomas is probably watching this being like, what the hell? She won't even give me a hug. I lived in LA in music school with Thomas. I had a very dependable Jeep. It was a great car. The day I woke up and I was like, I'm selling the Jeep and I'm getting a vintage Bronco. And I made Thomas drive with me like 2 hours outside of LA to go look at this Bronco. I bought it. It was a 1970 seafoam green Bronco. It was a piece of shit, but like beautiful. The heat was always on, which in LA is wild. At the time I worked at Free People in Studio City, and I lived in Pasadena. So I was driving like 45 minutes to work every day with the heat on. I'd show up to work drenched, just completely drenched. But that's how my love of vintage cars, specifically Broncos, started. But yes, now we have the red one, and I just love it. My dream is to have a whole garage of vintage cars. I love vintage cars so much. Okay, someone said, do you lift any weights or do you run and just do Pilates? Have not lifted weights in like 2 years. I used to be such a hit girl, such a high intensity circuit training, lifting, blah, 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 all that stuff. I just realized that like my body doesn't love it. It makes my body swollen, it makes it inflamed. My body truly just likes running and doing Pilates. It took me a long time to figure that out. Here we are. Luxury buying strategies. How do you decide what you consider worth it? That's a great question. Whenever I'm buying something, especially right now, I feel like I'm in the mindset of I try to find items that I can keep for a lifetime. I already talked about this, but I love vintage clothes, and I love pieces that have like character and backstory, and I want to be able to keep items forever. In that same breath though, I also believe if I have an item and it's not serving me, then I sell it. So another question that I got a lot of these was like, how do you afford all these things? If I have something that isn't serving me, I sell it. I reinvest it into something else. Last week, I literally sold my Birkin 30 in Color Sesame because I haven't used it. It's not for me. I don't really love a 30. When it comes to Hermes bags, I either like a 25 or like a 35. Like I don't really like that in between size. So it wasn't serving me, and so I sold it. I'll buy a new bag with that money when I find something that I like, or when my sales associate offers me something. Normally how it starts is I save up for an item, I keep that item, and then eventually when it gets to a point where it's not serving me, I sell it. And it's just like a cycle of, you know, repurposing and finding new items and selling old items and all that. But I would say invest in items that you feel like you can keep for a lifetime, that never go out of style, that aren't super trendy, and are just like classic staple wardrobe pieces. That's what I've been doing lately. Where all have you lived? Whew, buckle up. My dad played in the NFL for 9 years. He played for the Falcons and stopped playing right when I was born. I was born in Georgia. We quickly moved we actually lived in Nashville. So my dad's first coaching job was with Vandy. After that, we were with the Ravens, so Baltimore. After that, we were with the Jets, so New York. Nope. After Maryland, y'all. Atlanta, Nashville. And then after Maryland, we were with the Browns, so Cleveland. After Cleveland, we were with the Jets, so New York. Jets, we were with Steelers, so Pittsburgh. After Steelers, we were with Cardinals, so in Arizona. After that, I was going to college, so I went to Auburn for a year. It's like a fever dream. So Alabama. After that, I moved to LA. I came back to Nashville, and then we had our brief stint in Alabama again, in Tuscaloosa, and then back to Nashville. So 10 places, I think. It's been crazy. I can really keep them straight. Do you regret any tattoos? I don't think regret would be the right word. Do I have tattoos that I'm like, Mary, you really should have thought that through? Absolutely. But I think I just like don't really care enough to worry about them. I feel like I have any that I'm like, God, I hate that. I like eventually might get some removed, but I just like don't care enough to like put the time and effort in to go removing them or worrying about like not liking them. So at this point, like I don't look in the mirror and see my tattoos. I forget that they're truly there, but I don't really think about them, honestly. Yeah. Someone said, I would love to know about your extensions and if they affect the health of my hair. Love my extensions. I'm actually going to get my hair done next week, and I will film it and bring y'all along for all of it. But no, they don't for me. But I also think that that is because my girls who do them, and the technique and the product and quality and all of the things, like extensions can be very, very damaging. I go to girls that are very knowledgeable and are masters at what they do, and so I haven't had damage. Do you have help with the kids during the day? How do you handle it all? It's funny, I actually had no plans to have help. I like didn't have anything lined up, and then it was just kind of one of those things that like the universe just kind of put in my lap. She was actually a girl that helped me with Ace when he was a baby, and she texted me and was like, hey, I'm trying to get a gig for like a part-time nanny job. And I was like, wait, are you not doing anything? And she was like, no, I'm just kind of in between jobs. I don't start like my new job until May. Okay, well maybe I take advantage of this. And so she helped me a couple hours a week, and it was really nice. I don't think I really thought it through with like working and also building a new house. That's been very time consuming. It would have been very hard to keep working as much as I do and do all of the house stuff if she wouldn't have been here. He did just start at like a Mother's Day out program on Monday, and it's been really great, but also very hard. At some point, had to get back into my normal routine of work, and it just is what it is. Someone said, how did you develop a personal style after 2 kids? I don't know what my style even is anymore. I think my biggest advice would be try everything and pay close attention to what you feel the best in. Fashion is supposed to make you feel so confident, not necessarily like designer items. I just mean the fit of things and feeling put together. I would say just to find a personal style, pay attention to how you feel when you put something on. I'm like definitely a believer in, what's that one saying that it's like, if I like an item, I'm gonna buy it in every color. Like that is me. If I have a shirt that I feel great in, I'm gonna buy it in every color they make it, because like I want to feel that way all the time. Just pay very close attention to how clothes make you feel, and when you find the items that make you feel really confident and good, like stick with them. Someone said, do you have implants? If so, how do you feel about everyone taking them out? Implants, I got implants in 2011. Yeah, I've had them for 14 years. I've never had a problem with them. I got them because I had one full B and one full C, and I wanted them to be even. I've had no problems with them. I know that there's like a lot of people that are real big on the implant like sickness. I don't know what it's called. I've never felt that, but I don't discredit that people do feel that way. So how do you stop caring about what people think? Style, tattoos, etc. That's a really great question. I don't know. I think it's definitely like a mindset, and like it's also a journey. There's definitely some days that I like get really in my head, and some days where I'm like, you can't say shit to me. Like confidence is something that no one can take away from you, and no one can like talk shit about. Like no one's ever gonna be like, oh my gosh, like she's so confident, how gross. Like, okay, be confident in who you are and what you stand for, what you bring to the table. Not being a carbon copy of every other person. Like I think that's what makes people so unique and cool and different, is being different from the crowd, and it's cool to be different. Someone said, how is your pelvic floor recovery after baby 2, especially with working out and running? It was fantastic, y'all. I have not had a single problem. I think my pelvic floor feels stronger. I think it's just a testament to being super consistent in working out before I was pregnant, consistent with working out while I was pregnant, being super consistent after I was pregnant and postpartum. Obviously ran, I did Pilates, which that helped with pelvic floor for sure. I think something that is really important, especially if you're running and you're pregnant, honestly, anyone, having correct form when you're running is very important and not talked about enough. Making sure that you are engaging your core, that in turn helps your pelvic floor. So like just making sure that you have the correct form is really gonna play a huge role in pelvic floor health and condition. Hi Drea. She said, how do I stay tan all the time? I generally have some kind of tanner on. Kind of like go through a cycle of what I use, just depending on my skin looks like, what I have the energy for. Right now I think I have on Loving Tan. I also love the tan water, Be Bronzed. She has a solution. I love her solution. I love a tan. I said, would you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert? I am incredibly introverted. Hate a crowd. Hate a crowd. Gives me the worst anxiety. Honestly, going to like events for work has been interesting to tackle. Once I like start talking, I do okay, but it's like the initial step of that, I get really like, whew, very introverted. Were you scared of gaining weight while pregnant? I wouldn't phrase it like that. I wouldn't say I was scared of gaining weight, because that's what you're supposed to do. That means you have a healthy baby. I think I was scared of gaining so much like I did with my first pregnancy. My first pregnancy, I gained like over 60 pounds, and that was not fun. That was like definitely in the back of my mind of being like, I would really love to not gain that much. You just don't have control over it. That's not how that works. There's no point in stressing yourself out about it, because there's no way you can control it. Body's gonna gain what it needs to gain, and it is what it is. I think it's super valid to feel that way. It's not a fun aspect of it, is gaining all of that weight, but trying to like rephrase that into thinking like that just means that I'm growing a healthy baby and I'm healthy, and that it's temporary. If you are scared of gaining the weight, like that's okay. I got a lot of what I eat in a day. I would say when it comes to food, it's a very slippery slope to talk about. I think that like diet is such a toxic term, and I don't believe in that. I just believe in eating what you want to eat, and like within moderation. Some days I'm gonna have a salad, and some days I'm gonna have a burger, and some days I'm gonna, you know, have 10 cups of coffee, and some days I'll have 2. Like, I just think that it's like not a one size fits all kind of situation, and every person's body is different, every person's metabolism is different, and I personally just like have never believed in restricting. So I wouldn't say that I'm following some kind of like crazy eating plan or not eating carbs. I actually eat. If I could do anything, I could probably like chill out on the carbs a little bit. It's like I don't really love meat, and so My substitute is carbs, so I eat a lot of potatoes, I eat a lot of bread. Not enough protein, but we're working on that. I probably won't do like a whole like, here's what I eat in the day, just because I don't think that it's beneficial, honestly. Okay, last one. If I didn't answer yours, I'm sorry. I promise I will do this again and answer more. Do you want your own interior design or clothing design company more? Definitely would want my own clothing line more than design. I love interiors, but love clothes and fashion. It's funny because when I signed with my current management, that was something they asked me. They were like, do you have any hopes or wants to do a clothing line? And I was like, nope, have no interest in it whatsoever. And I don't know what it is, but like over the last couple of months, all of a sudden I really want to do it. I don't really know where I would start, but yeah. But I do have some other fun things in the works of like collabs and stuff that I'm really excited about. Okay, I'm so sorry if I didn't get to your question. I promise I'll do more of these. Okay. Hello, let's get dressed. One of the things that y'all have requested the most, y'all want to see the process of how I put together an outfit. I wish that I could tell you that there's like some great formula that I've like come up with that's how I get dressed, but that's just not the case. It generally starts with one item and then I just kind of build off of that. So that's what we're gonna do today. I lately am loving a trouser. I don't know what it is, it's comfy. I think it looks really chic if it's styled correctly. Right now it's like a comfort item for me. I've been like on the hunt for more. Like I said the other day, like if I find an item I like or feel confident in, I'm gonna like try to find it in a million different other variations so that I can recreate that. I found these trousers yesterday and I'm obsessed with them. They just have this like vintage kind of feel. I don't know if you can see, they're pinstriped, like a navy pinstripe. The fabric of them is like a very vintagey feel. They aren't necessarily the right length, so I have them cuffed right now. I'm going to hem them at some point. So this is what started the outfit. My hair is incredibly dirty, but also I love the look of something that is maybe a little bit more like business wear. Like it traditionally is a little bit more like professional, and kind of downplaying that and throwing something that is like either more feminine or something that's like very casual with it. I think that what creates the most interesting outfits is pairing things together that like shouldn't be together. I'm gonna throw on a ball cap. It's the exact same colorway. When I picked out these pants, I was like, I really want to see it with like a structured fitted blazer, like cropped kind of. There's one that Helsa made, literally this exact color, and I'm kicking myself that I don't have it because it would look so good with this outfit. You don't always have the exact item you want, and so we are going to make it work. So I have a blazer that kind of fits similarly. It's like very fitted and structured, but it's gray, but I still think it'll work. So this guy, it also will like add a nice feminine touch because it's kind of off the shoulder. It adds a little bit of interest to it. It actually is, y'all probably seen it. It's the one that had like fur sleeves, but like it's the coolest blazer ever. I actually sourced it from eBay because I wanted it so bad. I couldn't find it. It was from a couple seasons ago. The fur sleeves like pop on and off, which I think is brilliant. I wish that they would make this exact jacket in like a million other colorways because I just think it's the perfect jacket. And I wanted to kind of bring back in the gray element to kind of make it all make sense and not just be like random. I'm gonna throw on some gray boots with it. Purse-wise, I'm kind of in between two, so I'll show y'all. And then yeah, I'm gonna go put it all on and you can see. So this is the outfit, like really step back. I hope you can see the whole thing. And I think I know which one I'm gonna go with, but I like wish this was the right color. Too bright, like it needs to be a little bit darker. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna use my cream one. I just think it goes with it better. But this is the look of the day. I'll try to keep doing these like weekly. Maybe y'all can figure out like what exactly I'm doing because I have no idea. I feel like I'm just like getting dressed. I will say that like one of my favorite things to do is put together items that like shouldn't necessarily be together. So that is like maybe the big thing I would say right now is like think outside the box a little bit. Okay, bye. Have a great day.